The Douglas DC3. Many pilots regard the DC3 as psychic and exceptionally forgiving. The plane, they say, has the knack of anticipating pilot errors and compensating for those mistakes. Some insist it can fly by itself. One story reports that in 1957, a United States Air Force DC-3 ran out of gas over Missouri. Everyone bailed out and made it to the ground safely. The DC-3 then glided over the horizon and made a perfect, unassisted landing in a cornfield. This aircraft is a testament to the dedication, ingenuity, and workforce of the industry in the United States during these times. First flown in 1935, the Douglas DC-3 became the most successful airliner in the formative years of air transportation. The Douglas DC-3 is a propeller-driven airliner which had the lasting effect on the airline industry in the 1930s and the 1940s, and even World War II. It was developed as a larger, improved 14-bed sleeper version of the Douglas DC-2. It has a low-wing metal monoplane with conventional landing gear and powered by two radial piston engines. Designed and built in California by the Douglas Aircraft Company, the DC-3 had originally been designed as a luxury airliner for American Airlines. It was over 64 feet, 19.5 metres long, with a wingspan of 95 feet, 29 metres. The DC-3 incorporated breakthroughs developed at Douglas and Boeing, like supercharged 1200 horsepower twin engines, cantilevered metal wings and retractable landing gear. In 1934, the year before the introduction of the DC-3, a flight from New York to Los Angeles was a grueling ordeal, typically requiring 25 hours, more than one airline, at least 2 changes of aircraft, and at as many as 15 stops or so. Now, a single plane could cross the country, usually stopping only 3 times to refuel. The new aircraft was engineered by a team led by Chief Engineer Arthur E. Raymond, and the prototype DST, the Douglas Sleeper Transport, first flew on December 17, 1935, with the Douglas Chief Test Pilot Carl Cover at the controls. This day was the 32nd anniversary of the Wright brothers' flight at Kitty Hawk. Today, this aircraft is over 85 years old and still operates daily as a freighter for airlines in the Northwest Territories of Canada, specifically with Buffalo Airways, another testament to the airframe's durability and build quality. Commercial and historical flights of DC-3s are still the norm in 2021, and it is estimated that there is at least 300 DC-3s in operation all over the world. Since I was a kid, I was always interested in learning about World War I and World War II, specifically World War II. While learning about this time in history, I was pleasantly introduced to the Dakota C-47, eloquently nicknamed the Skytrain. Since then, I have been both amazed and obsessed with this aircraft. What is the Dakota C-47? And what does it have to do with the DC-3? Well, they are essentially the same aircraft. One is a civilian aircraft, the DC-3, and one is the military configuration, the Dakota C-47. So what makes a DC-3 a C-47, you might ask? Well, simply, and without getting into too much detail, a few military avionics, communication devices, and a huge cargo door at the rear. That's all there really is. One story that caught my attention and really cemented this aircraft as one of the greatest, if not the greatest aircraft ever produced in my opinion. Well, really, it is an episode rather than a story, and as time marches on, it gets harder and harder to believe the feat that actually took place. This particular flight in question started out as a very routine flight from Hong Kong into and through the hinterland of China. Captain Woods was the pilot. As always, he had a full gross load, plus before leaving Chongqing for Shenzhou, he was advised and was aware that the Japs were roaming the skies in that area. So, as Captain Woods headed for Chengdu, he decided to land at Suifu, a small field where they had a radio and a field office to get any information related to the Jap activity. Fortunately for Captain Woods and his passengers, it turned out to be a blessing. Somehow the Japs had sneaked through the area warning system undetected. Just as Captain Woods got the word there at Suifu, and almost simultaneously the Japs were overhead, Woody hurriedly led his crew and passengers into the wooded area away from the airplane. Sure enough, the Japs spotted the airplane and immediately started bombing it. A number of bombs were dropped. One, 100 kilos, struck the right wing, went through it and exploded under the wing. Needless to say, the wing was blown to jagged splinters. The rest of the airplane was so badly damaged, as a matter of fact, hardly a square foot of it escaped extensive damage. One of the passengers captured these photos on that day. Once Woody got the information back to Hong Kong, they realised they had a DC-2 going through overhaul in the hangar, and as one of the officers looked at one of the wings, he couldn't help but wonder. It was certainly worth a try. So the decision was made to strap the DC-2 wing under the belly of another DC-3 that was also being overhauled in the hangar and fly it to the crash site in Suifu. And from there they would quickly unload the wing and attach the DC-2 wing to the damaged DC-3 and fly it back to safety, bearing in mind the DC-2 wing was considerably smaller but could be fitted almost perfectly to the DC-3. Woody, the captain, was later reported to have said, "If you think it will fly, then I will fly it." There are countless heroic stories about the DC-3 and C-47 over the course of World War II and history. She truly is a beautiful machine, and I am personally inspired by her tale. I hope you enjoyed that little story, and I hope you enjoyed my video. For me, I love the DC-3, and I hope that one day, just maybe, I will be able to see one in person, or even if I am lucky, take to the skies and